on the thing here. We don't really need that Noah Burn in the shot no more, so we can bring this thing back in here so you can hear us a little better there. Let's go one more time. Oh, look, that thing is just a dangling there.
It's a dangler.
That's a dangler. So, we sort of. Alright, so. Alright, so we sort of talked about this through messages. And Brother Noah Byrne, for the audio folks, has parted ways with us. Did you get all of your rebuttal out of the way, in the Sunset Grill, pretty much?
There's one thing I forgot, but it's not that important.
That's fine. You could say it if you'd like.
Actually, it's kind of funny. Man, I wish Noah was here. You know what? I'm going to save it for later.
Okay.
Ooh, how's that tickle on your balls feel?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. There you go. That's the wine. Okay. So, we talked about this a little bit the other day, or yesterday through text message. Bryce Harper has to feel like the largest jackass in baseball right now.
Maybe now it's time to think about getting a different haircut.
It's starting to wear you at this point.
Or hitting above 250.
Or hitting, that dreaded Mendoza line is getting closer and closer.
You're dipping. Although I think he had some hits last night in the Nationals 25-4 rout of the Mets.
I almost text you after I saw that final, but I was like, we'll talk about it today. Dude, what the fuck?
Let's see.
How is that possible? Yeah, it ended up being like 25-1.
25-4.
Was it 4?
Let's see. Bryce had, he had 4 at-bats.
Recycle your plastics, listeners.
3 runs, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a walk. Oh, his average is up to 223.
See, when you have to say your average is up to 223, you're not doing well.
Hey, but I will say this: OPS 850, which that's not, it's under 1,000, but
yeah,
it's
that's nothing.
It's above average.
Yeah. See, I had this theory that I told you about that I believe that the Nationals want to make Bryce Harper their franchise player. Obviously, I mean, I already thought that he was, but apparently he's not. So I know that they don't want to spend the money to go out and rebuild all this thing because Bryce Harper's been there for long enough to where
he's something to invest in.
Yes, and I don't think that he is nearly as invested in the Nationals as they are in him, and that they wanted to make sure that he realizes his worth in this game, and I think that he now realizes that he may not be worth as much as he thought.
Not everyone can be LeBron.
Not everyone can be LeBron, which
I mean, make a name for yourself, win some titles. Well, I won't say subtitles. Win a title, and then go somewhere and win multiple ones, maybe.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you can go to Houston.
Maybe he could. Maybe he could. Well, see.
Well, I mean, not that. This obviously the Nationals aren't going to do this year.
No, but how awkward does the remainder of the season have to be in Washington? Like, all around for the fans, for everybody.
And just I don't think the fans are going to be a big help either.
No, not at all.
The team's struggling, he's struggling. They're going to let him know every game.
Oh, for sure. And because they are ruthless in Washington. Like, they booed Freddie, which I understand.
They did boo Freddie.
Which I understand. Yeah. Like, I get it. We're rivals. And you guys are so pissed off in Washington looking up at the Braves and Phillies fighting at the top of the East there. So, I mean, I know that it sucks from way down there to watch. But I don't see anybody who wants to put up with Bryce Harper's ego. And I believe that Washington realized that, and they realized that they can either do themselves or all of baseball a favor and just get Bryce Harper's ego in check now. And
that's beautiful.
Right?
I think you summed it up. Just that disinformation and then just turn it in your favor.
Yeah, leak that he's available. Show him that nobody wants him. Show him that he hasn't done anything to impress anybody. I'm sorry, you can hit a lot of fat pitches, and he cheated in the fucking home run derby.
Which round? I don't think I saw both his rounds. Or however many there
Shit
are.
belongs to Freddie, man.
Man, I mean, it's just why get Bryce Harper when you can pick up a guy like all-time great Tony Podesta?
See, I'm serious. His life could have gone a whole lot different.
He was playing in the old-timers game.
Yeah, and back goes Podesta. And back to the backstop and to the warning track. And there he goes. And he tags up on third. And Willie Startle in the score.
One hopper to Podesta. To second. To 6. To 4. To 3. He got them both.
See, if Podesta, he could have been a Yankee. He sounds like a Yankee. He sounds like a Brooklyn Dodger.
I believe he stays clean shaven.
Yeah, he sounds.
Although I guess that wasn't a thing in the 70s.
Well, I think
seem
you
to
can have a
recall
mustache.
Reggie Jackson having a mustache. Oh yeah,
You can have a mustache.
yeah, because Giambi had a mustache.
Yeah, and
course.
Catfish Hunter. A lot of them had a mustache.
Callers, think of more Yankees with mustaches. Hell,
Yeah,
didn't
dude.
Billy Martin have a mustache?
Billy Martin had a mustache.
Not in the 70s.
Did he?
Not like
He had one as a player, I think.
Yeah, and maybe like in his A's days managing. That's who he was managing when he died, right?
Maybe.
No, to the
Maybe.
end that box, Billy Martin.
So are we just going to ignore the fact that Bryce Harper and his dad cheated, did not follow the rules of home
Oh, it was a
derby?
pitching
The
inconsistency.
previous hit ball must hit the ground before the next ball can be thrown to the batter. So basically, the ball has to be on the ground before the next pitch can be thrown. Technically,
Oh, so he kind of pulled.
he hit one too far.
He pulled a Phil Mickelson.
Oh yeah,
He reached out before it was done rolling.
yeah, exactly. Which, dude, how do you do that as Phil? How do you get that frustrated with the game?
Because who gives a shit? Like,
Good point.
But like I defend him in that. It's like who gives a shit? Like fuck you, golf. Like always taking yourself so seriously. Like let a guy lose it once in a while. Like let a guy that would happen with just some drunken doctors.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like let him 10 cup it. Fuck it. Who did the 10 cup thing? Didn't somebody do that recently?
Who
We're
was
not
it?
talking
Was
about
it-
golf. Maybe Sergio. Somebody like that.
It wasn't.
I don't know.
Was it Phil? Again?
Yeah, it could have been, but I'm not too savvy on golf. But anyway,
Either.
so Aaron Judge is out with a wrist injury and can't swing.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Giancarlo Stanton getting beaned.
He didn't look too pleased about it.
No,
he gave
at
him
all.
the,
He gave
okay.
Okay, we'll see how it is.
I'm 6'6" and have biceps the size of your head.
I don't know, man. Giancarlo Stanton just seemed like with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, plus they had what's the other guy?
Hicks, Sanchez.
No. Some other slugger
The one
who keeps just
the third baseman whose
Yeah.
name is hard to pronounce.
who's doing ridiculous things right now. It just seemed like they shouldn't lose a game yet. In the AL East, it seems that the Bo Sox have how many games? 3.5, 4?
Andujar, is that who you're thinking of?
Maybe.
I mean, he's batting 292. Let's see. Yeah, what is it? 5.5.
5.5.
5.5. Both of them coming off a loss. Which do you know what happens tomorrow night?
What happens tomorrow night? Do you guys play
The beginning of a 4-game series.
against?
None other than the Aaron Judge-less New York Yankees.
Well, that should be really good for you guys because you've got.
And it's in Fenway.
Oh shucks.
Uh-huh.
See, you guys have Chris Sale, which
Nope, he's on the 10-day DL.
really,
Yeah,
who's taking his spot now?
shoulder inflammation. No, we just got that Eovaldi guy. Price.
Oh, you guys picked up
Ian Kinsley.
Yeah. That's strong.
Yeah, which brings me to, cause, I think it was said like that was like due to their unsureness about Pedroia, which is like, dude, we just gotta give up on Pedroia.
Yeah,
Like when they let go of Hanley because he was coming back, and then for him to like immediately go back, it's like, I mean, he didn't have the best start to the season, but Hanley was hitting home runs. So I thought, I mean, I get
Hanley
it.
is also
He's the face of the team, but not so much
lightning
anymore.
fast. Even though he's getting a little age on him, he's still very quick, and that counts for a lot in fielding and base running. I mean,
speaking of which, you see that Jackie Bradley Jr. catch from Sunday?
no, I've heard about it, but I didn't see it.
He ran 70 feet in 4 seconds.
There you go, University of South Carolinians. There's your man at work.
World Series winner.
That's right. Didn't he win both of them?
I believe so.
Back to back, he won both of them, and left the year that they would have went. He would have won 3 if they'd had JBJ.
They went 3 in a row.
They went to 3 in a row.
Oh, okay.
But they won 2 in a row. They lost to I can't remember who that was. But what's funny is South Carolina won those 3 in a row, and then it was a couple of years like Vanderbilt and whoever, and then Coastal.
So
I was like, man, I love it when you get a few championships back to back from the same state, a few years off.
Well, that year was fucking crazy because
Coastal in Alabama.
Coastal won the College World Series.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. Clemson.
Yes, won the national
Yeah.
title. I couldn't feel bad about losing that game. Being someone who's gotten a lot of championships in my adult life, I can't. The underdog, they needed to win for the sport.
I fell asleep during that game and missed the last minute action.
And I, as an Alabama fan, like my dad might have just rolled over in his recliner, but I wasn't.
I didn't mean to
completely
bring it up. I'm
against-
sorry.
No,
I can see you
fine.
exuding emotion right now.
I wasn't completely against Clemson winning the second one.
I got you.
Because in the fashion that we won the first one was so epic. I mean, the greatest onside kick of all time. Like, that's going to be in film. That's going to be in films, like film room for the end of time as far as college football is going, as to how to properly execute onside kick.
Man, I don't even remember it, to be honest with you.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll link it to you later. I'll send it to you. Dude, that was, you know what?
I remember a pretty good return from a year or two before that. It was in some game.
Oh, man.
No, but my greater point was.
First off, fuck Auburn. Second off, every person, every team in the history of teams has run that play in practice at least once. At least once.
My greater point was, though, that year Coastal and Clemson won those. The Gamecock women, they won a national title, and then that was also the year that the Gamecock men, they got to the Final Four, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that was just a big year for South Carolina collegiate sports. Shame we don't have a hockey team.
Cindarius Thornwell. Here we go.
All right, here we are.
Textbook.
Podesta in the shotgun formation.
Textbook right here. Look at this.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, that one. Textbook there, that one. Look at old smiling Nick. You see 2 smiles out of this man a year. Once in a random game, and another one if he gets a title.
Oh yeah, I know the type.
If he doesn't get the title, they don't get a smile out of coach. So speaking about not getting the smile out of coach, have you heard about what's going on in Ohio?
Is this what is it? The wide receivers coach?
No, Urban Meyer.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't him that was smacking his wife around, right?
I don't know, but I know that Urban Meyer has been.
Yeah, he's been put on administrative leave.
Yes,
But I think it was like a Paterno situation where he was covering something up he didn't know. Was it actually him though? I thought it was a coach underneath him.
That I'm not entirely sure about. Like I looked into a little bit of it, but most of it was just what I'd heard on Sports Talk a little bit right before you got here.
Wow, the headline on ESPN is "As society has evolved, Urban Meyer hasn't." Jesus,
come on, Espen, you're
Man.
winning in the headline game. Yeah. So, no, not Urban Dictionary.
Well, you might find some new terminology there today.
Yeah, no kidding. So, so yeah, I guess right now they don't know how much he knew of this or how much he whatever, so that they're just covering their ass.
Zach Smith, who was fired in July.
Yeah.
Huh.
See, this is just so he knew of his. Okay, so the wife texted, like there were texts apparently that stated that Urban Meyer knew about this shit, so he's fucked. So here's the thing.
So administrative leave is just going to turn into leave.
Yeah, just leave. Exactly. GTFO. So now not even
There's that program.
And not even
the Nittany Buckeyes.
Was it the Nittany Buckeyes? What's the kid's name? The third string quarterback that came in and won the fucking national title. Colin
Kaepernick.
Yeah. Yeah, they wish. The Buckeyes would be the one to take whatever his name was. Cordell.
Oh yeah.
Cordell Jones. Cordell Jones?
Is that it?
Cordell something? They don't have him to save them this time.
What is this? This was only a few months ago.
It wasn't Cordell.
No, Cordell was there.
Cardell Jones.
Cardell Jones.
Cardell Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other Cordell, he was in the NFL by then. Patterson?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so apparently that's happening. And the new contract clause give OSU the right to fire Urban Meyer with cause and void his $38 million deal. That came out 35 minutes ago. So, like, apparently the people in the front office of whatever's going on in Ohio State aren't complete idiots. So,
Well, the fans aren't going to like that.
No, they're not. I actually had Halen, who lives in Ohio, a friend of mine who may or may not listen to this podcast, said, well, I guess we may as well just go ahead and write off the next decade of Ohio State football. And I'm like, finally.
Well, I guess. I mean, there's not going to be in Ohio anymore.
Yeah. I wonder what old, what's his name? Colin Cowherd. Help me out here.
Cardell Jones?
No, Ohio State. The guy. Kirk Herbstreit has to say about this.
Oh, does he have a specific loyalty to them?
He was their quarterback.
Oh, okay. Well,
Kirk Herbstreit was their Ohio State quarterback.
All right. Well, in what year?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not important. I'm just saying it was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of college football lore.
1993 Florida Citrus Bowl. Yeah, he was that guy. But either way, I've never really thought that Urban Meyer was all that he was cracked up to be. And first off is because shit, he does great in Florida with Tim Tebow, right? And he comes into Ohio State and he does great with this freak athlete who comes out of nowhere, Cardell Jones. Has he done anything, or has it just been him just being really fucking lucky having these two players at times? I mean, shit, he had Cam Newton and then Tim Tebow.
I mean,
and
you know, I've heard a lot of the same about. I hate to go there, but Belichick as well.
But here's the thing.
Then again, a little longer.
Yeah, but Belichick is. It's not like Tom Brady was a great quarterback.
Yeah.
He was a mediocre, middle of the road fucking quarterback, 6th rounder, correct? And
199.
yeah, I mean, just he's not that. He wasn't that great of an athlete. What if Bill Belichick being in his ear? What if that could have been any other random 6th round quarterback? Plus, I have a theory that Bill Belichick cursed the Cleveland Browns, and they will never win anything as long as Bill Belichick breathes.
And that, folks, is how you change the conversation from college ball to the Patriots.
Hey-o.
I got a lot of hope for the Browns this year. They're pretty loaded.
Dude,
like what?
Josh Gordon.
Have you ever seen a rebuild like that?
Never. Not in one off season at least. Like ever. And I don't see. I mean, what are they going to win 7 games this year instead of 4?
I mean,
and that's going to be the big surge, and we're all going to be stoked that happened.
I mean, when was the last time they won over 5 games?
Yes, probably not in our awareness. Like not since we've been adults or watching sports at our own leisure.
Not since my car insurance got cheaper.
Yeah, no kidding. But seriously, like I don't mind. Now I was listening to Tiki and Tierney the other day.
I love Tiki and Tierney.
They're great. I love Tiki and Tierney.
They're intelligent.
They respond to me on Twitter too. They respond to your tweets. They actually do that. They if you send them a message, they will act or like your tweet or whatever. Like
hey, Brandon, I want to rub your big bald head in coconut oil.
Negative. But it's so funny. Like you can hear Tiki gets pissed off when people call the show and start talking about his brother.
What the Hall of Fame talk?
Yeah, or the golf thing where like Marion Barber's like apparently playing golf with a bunch of people now. Like he got you a little.
Yeah, I hear he's good.
But anyway, yeah, they're always talking about that, and you can just hear that he gets ill a little bit. Like, fuck, I don't want to talk about Marion anymore. But Rondé, geez, not Marion. But anyway, fucking
Marion Barber. That's where you get your hair cut, a little west of here.
Yes, indeed it is. But I was listening to them talk about Josh Gordon, and they were comparing him to Ricky Williams in the fact in which Josh Gordon don't give a shit. He's like, I'm gonna get high.
I just want to wait.
And this is the thing is that the fact that the NFL, because the NBA has already got this figured out. The NBA don't give a shit. The NBA, they've already got this figured out.
Do you want to have games?
Yes. Do you want us to continue to have? Well, then we're not gonna take away their weed. So I think that maybe if this Cleveland surge or whatever might do a little something for weed in football in response to the whole concussion situation, that could take a lot of the.
It's a big movement right now.
Take a lot of the pressure off of the concussion situation, and that is necessary.
Guys, just smoke some weed.
Just smoke weed, man. I tell people all the time, we'll remain nameless, but for the sake of recording. But a friend who constantly fights with me, alcohol over weed. And I'm like, bro, like I sent him an article. I'm like, more people have died in this article to alcohol than have ever died in the history of the world to weed. And it's literally helping people cope with whatever you call that, the concussion, the
CTD?
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
CTE.
Yeah, CTE. It's helping people cope with this shit. And they're not, I don't know, they're not going home and hanging themselves or beating the shit out of their families.
It's the last thing you're gonna do.
I mean, I'm sorry, AP. You were once the greatest running back in football. Stop hitting your people. Stop hitting your family. Please.
Stop busting out the switch.
Stop doing it. You know what? I don't know, man. I got the switch. I turned out all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that kid's going to turn out right, too, because I'm sure he has a trust fund of some sort.
Oh, of course. No doubt. So, anywho. Even though, going back to full circle, we're going to step back a little bit
Come
here.
on, you're rich. Get a whipping boy.
Get a whipping boy, you Richie Rich. So, going back to where we were. No, I have never seen instant rebuild like I have in Cleveland, but they are Cleveland. And Bill Belichick is still alive. So, what do you do there? They're never going to be able to win because I call it the curse of the Bill Bino. They're never going to be able to win until Bill Belichick is in the ground. Because as long as he breathes.
Well, I mean, I have no evidence to confirm nor deny that.
As long as he
That's
breathes.
your theory. It's a good one.
He's
it makes
arguably the
sense.
greatest coach, arguably the greatest NFL coach of all time. Arguably.
Well, all right.
And
or we could say just the best coach of the modern era.
The best coach of the modern era. And the poor Cleveland Browns haven't done dick since he decided to
the last
make the move east.
Their last playoff victory was, I believe, in '96 against the
like
Patriots.
That. And then what happens? The offseason. The New England Patriots have hired coach William Belichick.
William.
Yes, he hasn't been William in years. The hood speaks. So how many years do you think you've got with
What, till I die?
Yes. How many years do you think you have left on this earth? How many years do you think you have left, or seasons do you have
94.
left?
Sorry,
94?
1994.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah. How many years do you think you have left of the Brady check?
I don't know. I feel like during this offseason, I feel like I remember Brady's kind of stepping off his hole till he's 45 kind of thing. And then maybe this will be it. But, who knows? It all depends on how the season plays out. It's funny, well, I was up in Mass this past week.
Yeah.
And, we were discussing some football, and I said, Browns and Jaguars, AFC Championship game. He just rolls his eyes and he just, in a typical fan of this sort of fashion, just goes, the AFC Championship we played where it always is.
That's accurate.
Who knows? I mean, another thing is all it takes is another 2008 style injury, and it's like, and tearing an ACL at 41, that's
you're just going home there.
Yeah, put the cleats up.
But see, I feel the same way.
Unless he's indestructible now. I mean,
he could be the bionic man, dude. Are tomatoes really that bad for you? I mean,
you mean avocados?
No, he eats all. He does no tomatoes.
Oh, he does no tomatoes?
Yeah, he does no red sauce, no tomatoes, or his diet is insane.
I mean, I can't be surprised that Tom doesn't like pizza.
Yeah, I mean, he won't eat tomato, but did you see that video of him pounding the beer? Did we go over that once?
Yeah,
I felt like we did talk about that.
It was on Conan?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. He just...
Well, I had read another story about how it was some years ago, but it was after a game on the road, and they all went to a restaurant to eat, and they were chugging beers, and they were like, somebody was like, hey, Tom, challenged Tom, and he just walked up, and they said, just drink a beer, I think it was Ninkovich maybe who said it, but he just put it down the fastest he's ever seen anyone drink a pint of beer, just put it on the table and walked away,
It's just, that's why you're the greatest. Yeah. That's why or not the greatest. That's why you exude that greatness to your team. He
probably immediately walked out the door of that restaurant and ran around that block 5 times. Gotta burn it off. He just ran to the next game.
No.
Ran back to Foxborough.
Did we talk at all about the Giselle Brady? The Giselle Brady leaking the fact that he may have gotten a concussion. Did we talk about that?
No, we never have.
What's your theory?
I said it then, I'll say it again. I mean, English isn't her first language.
That's so good. But there could have been something lost in translation there. I mean,
concussion could be like a town in Brazil. And maybe they went there.
I think it is. But seriously, if he's got, as long as you've got Bill Belichick, despite Tom Brady, Bill Belichick's probably going to coach until he's dead. And he probably won't leave New England. They've been good to him.
Yeah.
I don't really see him going anywhere. And I don't see the people in New England allowing him to go anywhere financially. You get what I mean?
Right.
They're never going to allow. The same thing in Alabama. We're never going to let Nick Saban go anywhere else. We're gonna, you know what we're gonna say.
Money, take it.
How much did they offer you? We got $10 million more.
The old Tyrion Lannister route.
Indeed. Like, listen, you're not gonna. Speaking of which, I'm about to start that.
Okay.
Watch series.
Yeah, I know. Watch True Detective season 1 first.
Okay.
It's 8 episodes.
Okay, I can do that.
Don't
That's
watch
pretty
season
quick.
2.
Not
if
good.
you do watch season 2, don't watch the final episode. But anyway, back to
yes,
football coaches being paid enormous amounts of money.
Indeed. As long
for the pride of a civic region.
Exactly. And people are more adamant about these than they are their political affiliations, at least until the last 2 years. But still, as long as Bill Belichick is wearing that hood on the sidelines, y'all are as fine as I feel like Alabama is with Nick Saban on the sidelines.
Not too much to worry about.
Not at all.
Some kid out there, he'll make a star.
Exactly, and it's just going to continue to happen. I mean, there's a lot of no-name
Some
players.
journeyman, he'll turn into a starter.
Exactly, but he has that ability, like they said that Casey Stengel used to have with those Yankees, that he could pick up somebody at the end of their rope who had nothing left in them, and he saw something that they had that he needed them to do one thing in this chess game that he played. And Bill Belichick's very similar to that. He can pick up a Danny Woodhead to do nothing in fantasy, but will punch it in for 2 yards. He guarantee you 2 yards every run.
It's a very good point. However, please don't ever compare
Danny Woodhead.
No,
I know. Okay, Yankees. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Coach.
I'm sorry. I'm.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Murderers Row, or was that the 27 Yanks? That might have been the 27 Yanks. But anyway.
Yeah, still. And Casey.
What was the nickname for DiMaggio, Mantle, Berra, the 50s? Do they have a nickname?
I don't know. I saw the disappointment in your face when you realized you were going to Google it.
Nah.
But like, still, that's the sort of thing that these coaches do. Like, and I will continue to. I don't think there's a better comparison in football than Alabama and the Patriots. And you get a lot of great athletes in Alabama who, outside of linemen, a lot of their star players don't go on to do much in the NFL. Like, for instance, A.J. McCarron, I thought was solid. I still think he's got some good games in him. Greg McElroy, none of these players did anything. Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram.
Trent Richardson, isn't he said to be like the worst football player, the NFL player of all time or something?
Yeah, pretty much. And one of the greatest college running backs of all time. Like, it's so crazy how different it was. He was just lazy. Him and Eddie Lacy as well. Not a lot of these players do a lot of shit, but
Eddie, what'd you lace those brownies with?
Eddie.
He would some cupcakes too.
This motherfucker posted shit on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter like, somebody bring me Chinese food. Like, dude, get off your ass and run. Like, I can't say bring me Chinese food because my job is to go and play guitar for a bunch of people. I don't have to be able to run a 4.4.
My body is not my profession.
No shit. I don't have to use my physical body to do anything in my work. You do. And you're from the University of Alabama. God damn it, give a shit. The University of Alabama. Act like you give a shit, man. Jesus.
The Ohio State.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
Will not be in the headlines.
I don't mean to get so heated over this, but I feel passionate about the University of Alabama's football program, and you should try a little harder when you get to that next level. Make us look good. So, like I said, it's not going to be the end of the world once you're Tom Brady does get to that last game, because somebody else will step in.
And whether they do or don't, like, it won't be the end of the world because it's a hell of a run.
I feel the same exact way. You know what? We could suck and we could suck in the next 10 years, and it doesn't matter because we had the last
Hey,
10.
remember this?
Yeah, look at all these rings. We got plenty of trophies to polish in our downtime.
How many does Alabama have in the past 10 years now?
5.
That's half.
That's half.
And they've been to.
We went to 09, 2010. I think we went to 3 back to back, and then Auburn beat whoever the fuck they beat, and then we went to another one. No. See, it's. I don't want to Google these because I have the hats and the shirts. Like we won the we won 2010 and 11, or no, 9 and 10. I can't remember. We won a shitload. Well, I know we won 2009, and we might have lost 2010. We might have did 11 and 12, which would have made Auburn 2010 with Cam Newton. That sounds about right? And then we beat Texas, and then we beat Notre Dame, which I don't even really count that one because that was a garbage fucking championship. Feel so bad for Notre Dame. They finally got there, and then we just beat the shit out of them. And then the next year was Ohio State, and Cordell Jones went on to beat Oregon, was it?
You're asking the wrong guy. Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah, we've definitely, because Nick Saban has 6. He's tied Bear Bryant, and he got 1 with LSU.
Oh, well, speaking of players, just looking at here, I was trying to get a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Heisman winners, though, there are only 2 are Ingram and Henry.
Yeah.
Both guys who are starting to turn their careers around a little bit.
A little bit, and I that's a really good trivia question. Is the Heisman winners from Alabama? Because you would think
it'd be something a little
Joe
earlier.
Namath or somebody like that. But yeah,
Joe
Mark
Namath
Ingram.
went to Alabama?
Yeah,
Holy fuck. Broadway Joe.
he was the
Birmingham Joe.
Yeah,
Or
number 88. I think.
Tuscaloosa Namath.
Oh no, number 88. Which, you know who number 88 was? Dabo Swinney,
Ah.
wide receiver,
Dabo.
University of Alabama. Yeah, like Joe Namath, you would think it would be him, but other than it, there's a lot of Auburn.
Namath.
Auburn has their
I just want to
studs,
kiss
too.
you. I could care less about the
He
game.
don't give no fucks, man. He walk in with a fucking lion on his back and a cigar and a shaking scotch.
I think there's a famous picture of him from Super Bowl III at halftime where he's
Smoking a cigarette?
Yeah, yeah.
There's
I just want to kiss.
yeah. He's just drunk and he don't give a shit.
YouTube it, folks.
Yeah, YouTube.
Susie and Joe Namath.
Yeah, Joe Namath interview, and I guarantee it'll be the top one. But anywho, we're not here to talk about the great state of Alabama. We're scooting up on that 2 o'clock hour. You probably have to
Yeah, I gotta work in the morning.
be getting on. So in closing,
Come to trivia on Thursday nights in Mellow Mushroom, Marl's Inlet. In closing,
Indeed.
you're saying.
in closing, your Bo Sox are looking good over in the AL East.
The Braves are fighting.
We're fighting. We're right there. We're right where we need to be. The Phillies
Half the
just
game
need
back.
the Phillies just need to keep dropping the ball, so to speak. We've stayed pretty consistent, but the Phillies got that super hot streak that they were on, and we were like 5 games back. And obviously we cut that to a half a game.
I'm sorry that the Sox were not more help than that.
No, it's quite all right. I really just think because they're the Phillies, they're gonna dive bomb anyway because that's what they do in the. Well, fuck. Who knows? Maybe it's the city's year.
Don't say that.
I know it just breaks my heart to think that's could be a possibility. But anyway,
Never hear the end of it.
you never hear the end of it. Jesus, there's not enough Crisco in the city to keep those light poles up.
It's gonna be dead police horses everywhere.
Everywhere. Buttercup all over the place.
Oh, butternuts.
Buttered stuff. Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, congratulations to you. This was definitely a hodgepodge episode of my stuff. Sunset Grill, Seth, Scolaro.
Sure.
Scolaro?
You know, let's just have it different every week.
Yeah, Seth's skilled Argentinian. Yeah.
They weren't that skilled this year.
Ba-dunks. We don't talk about soccer, guys.
Oh, we will.
No, but we will. All right. Well, Seth, any final thoughts?
Smoke crack and smoke crack and worship Satan.
Smoke crack and worship Satan, ladies and gentlemen. Hail Satan. Throw up your horns. All right, guys.
True Detective season 1. I mean, of course, it's like 5 years old at this point, but you've never seen it, so I'm not necessarily recommending it to everybody who's listening, but just you.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to recommend? Everybody else is just listening to watch something or listen to something?
Nobody cares what I'm into.
Doesn't matter. Okay. All right, guys. That's all I got for you.
Good night.
Love you. Peace, bitches.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. That's the longest one yet.
Oh, jeez.
2:38.
What hath gone right?
There's a little bit. There's probably about 2 minutes of content that I can cut out when Noah was here, when we were all looking at our phones for a second.
When Noah said same one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, let's get off of this before.
Whoa.
You got the behind the scenes. You got to hear that where Noah was saying crazy things. He just went to the Sandy Monkey. That's what he was talking about, you know.
Goodbye.
Tell them all there, Seth.
I'm about to head to Gaslight and try to get lucky with a few people.
Oh, that's where you're going to do